Top five, top five, top five.
Sometimes I'll go back with another video. I'm Strange Wing. He's Nate. Today we are doing top 5 Spielberg movies. Personal favorites. Not his best. So, a movie he produced is what?
Back to the Future. Back to the Future.
Jeez.
Tell Shawty to chill. I'm making videos.
You waste all my film.
If you don't know your top 5s, guys, let me call it the Zemeckis rule. Zemeckis, Back to the Future. Basically, if one of us has the same movie on our list as someone else, but they have it 2 spots or higher, they will call Zemeckis, and it just means we're going to wait to talk about it till we get to it on that person's list, because obviously they care about it a wee bit more.
Speaking about wees, my number 5 is Jurassic Park.
Zemeckis.
Well, that fucks up transition. Speaking about wees, because they got kids in it. Wee lads. My number 4 will probably also be a Zemeckis, and is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Zemeckis.
Alrighty.
My number 5, it's okay, which will probably be a Zemeckis, is going to be Catch Me If You Can.
Zemeckis.
All right. My number 4 is going to be Jaws.
Fucking Zemeckis.
All right. So we've got 4 of the movies out the way.
All right. My number 3 is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's my number 3. We
You
have
know-
the same top 5, just in a different order.
I was like, do I put 2 Indiana Jones movies on the list? And I was like, this one is less, like a tad less entertaining.
Yeah,
But it's a perfect movie.
it is.
So I got to put on there, from the intro of Indiana Jones and all the iconic moments, this is the film that was like, he put Spielberg in your household for the family.
Mm.
Like, you probably shouldn't let your kids watch Jaws that young. Back in the 70s. Now,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But at this time, it was like Spielberg, he did Indiana Jones. Why not let the family watch this, you know?
Mhm.
Kids love Indiana Jones.
That's a fact.
I agree with you. It is an absolutely perfect film. I just personally like Last Crusade a touch more, but it really is just a touch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I saw this movie when I was a kid for the first time, and it meant a lot to me. I loved Indy and his style. I tried to act like him for a long time in my life. I already loved Han Solo, so just getting to see really just kind of a different version of the same person in a different universe doing different things. And I just love the sense of adventure that Spielberg is so good at putting into his movies. So when you just take one of the most iconic characters of all time and mix it with Spielberg's adventurousness, you get an absolute masterpiece.
I thought you was going to say you liked burning Nazis' faces off.
Well, that's pretty great too.
But
that did scare the shit out of me. As
my
a kid.
number 2 was the Zemeckis from earlier. It's Catch Me If You Can.
Mm-hmm.
Leonardo DiCaprio as a young shyster, but we understand why.
Yeah.
And it puts a reason, and it has its own story. It's heartfelt. You don't feel bad for him.
Mm.
But you do kind of like, man, this kid is something great. It's one of those movies
Yeah.
you know you shouldn't do. So watching on film, it like gives you that experience. Like this
Yeah.
kid's
Mm-hmm.
this kid's living like Ric Flair. And if you don't know who Ric Flair is,
Woo.
you're already on YouTube. So when you get done, go to the search bar. But like Leo in this film,
Yeah. Phenomenal.
best.
Yeah.
My favorite Leonardo DiCaprio performance,
Wow.
hands down,
Mm.
because of how much of a shyster is. He talks his way out of so many situations, especially the one with Tom Hanks in the hotel room.
Yeah.
The tension in there is so easily, like, the directing by Spielberg's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it shows it in that scene. But you have Tom Hanks, he's a little hardened, you know, and, like, they're back and forth. It's like his ego isn't going to stop him from doing shit.
You're right.
Talking about DiCaprio.
Yeah.
But the wiseness and just, like, the determination from Hanks,
Mm-hmm.
it makes for an incredible rivalry that we see in this film.
Yeah.
And I love it because he's a shyster.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken, a little miscast. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, Christopher Walken kind of takes me out of most movies because of how weird his voice is.
Yeah.
But besides that, I love this movie.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, every time I watch it, I feel like I pick up on just a little something different or something that just hits me different. And this time what really hit me was what was going on in his home life.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just so
It shows that.
he was just so convinced that if I am successful enough, I can get my parents back together. And he's
That
almost
heartbreaking scene.
he's a little
when he sees
delusional
his
about
mom.
it, honestly. Yeah.
His mom's a hoe.
Right. And
A slut. A skeezer.
done?
Yeah. I ran out of words.
Forgot thought.
I did say that.
Oh, my bad.
I didn't say thoughty.
My number 2 is The Last Crusade. Was Zemeckis from earlier.
My list is literally upside down.
Yeah, it really is. So, which is really great. But yeah, Last Crusade, for me, what puts it over the edge with the dad stuff is the Sean Connery character.
Yeah.
So I just love every aspect of that. I feel like the humor in this one there's a little more humor in this than Raiders, but it's not like hokey humor. It's just like it fits the story so well.
Yeah.
Like
the Nazi line.
Yeah, oh yeah. How do you know she's a Nazi? She talks in her sleep, and then like you
just look at each other.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's phenomenal. The no ticket thing when they're getting on the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Zeppelin. Everybody's just like rushes to get their ticket out. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. To me, it just adds depth to the Indiana Jones character. You know, it shows a lot about why he is. I love the River Phoenix, like young Indy in the beginning.
One of the best phenomenal flashback.
Man, so good. And the way it starts off is you see the hat and you're like, oh, there's Indy, but it's not Indy. It's the other guy. So yeah, I just love everything about it, man.
Everything you said, like, again, what you said was correct, but to me, it was more about the filmmaking than the entertainment, which is why it had where it was on my list.
Yeah. Sean Connery scares a bunch of birds into an airplane to make it crash.
All right. My number one is Jaws. One of the greatest movies of all time.
Tell me something I don't know.
Hands down, it's a perfect movie. Every emotion's in this movie, including fear. Fear is the hardest emotion to capitalize on, I think. And you put all those together, and you put the sun out, and you still make a terrifying movie. This movie made people not want to get swim. I believe your mother is one of them. Correct?
Yeah, no. My mom is still, like, legit still scared of water she can't see the bottom of.
Because of this movie.
Yeah.
So, I've seen this 3 or 4 times. I went and saw it in a theater a few years back and still had goosebumps. I was terrified still all over again. This is a perfect movie.
Again.
If we ever do like unbiased, like greatest movies of all time, you know, you're going to see Godfather, you're going to see Vertigo, you might see Psycho, you go see Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
But this guaranteed.
Yeah.
Number one on my list.
Wow.
Because like the arc between everyone, the relationships they built in this, and the competition between Robert Shaw and Richard Dreyfuss as like a side thing.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
Spielberg, man, he makes this family realistic. Just the little moments less is more.
Yeah.
And then he's a student of film. So he had all this knowledge given to him for people like Hitchcock and all these other people. And you see that in the movie, especially with the Hitchcock shot. You zoom in and move forward.
Yeah.
And like you had that realization. You had that realization on his face. Oh, I love this movie so much.
It's phenomenal. I think that's something that people don't talk about. Something like Spielberg is very good at a lot of things, right?
Right.
So people always talk about, Spielberg and adventure. They talk about how well he is.
His family films.
They always talk about getting good performances out of kids with him and all that kind of stuff. But Spielberg just has a way with characters who are just kind of like hardened men, but like has a way of teaching us the depth inside of them.
Yeah, I never thought about
like
that.
a lot of, even Schindler's List. Schindler, he's just kind of, he's stoic. He doesn't always have a lot to say, but he's so soft and caring on the inside. And I could talk about it with my number one with one of the characters. Yeah. But, Spielberg is just really, really good at like,
It makes a lot more sense why you like his movies now.
Yeah, for sure.
You're like an egg. Hard on the outside, but you're soft on the inside.
Yeah. But yeah, Jaws is phenomenal, 100%. My number one is going to be, was it your number 5?
Yeah.
All right, it's going to be Jurassic Park. A lot of...
I'm going to get this out of the way real quick.
Go ahead.
Reason it's number 5 is because you have someone from Seinfeld, you have Samuel L. Jackson, Jeff Goldblum. The rest of the movie, it's good. Iconic moments. Those 3 things is why I love that movie. But you get such more pieces of them. Yeah. That's why it's number 5.
And like, so the side characters in that movie, they play so well into everything else. And I'm not going to argue with that specific point at all.
Well, this is top 3 favorite movies for you. So
Yeah.
I want to get my little bit.
Yeah,
and
for
have you have all the love you can muster for it.
I just grew up with this film. It was kind of like, other than Star Wars, literally Star Wars, which Spielberg still had a little bit to do with.
First movie you ever saw in theaters.
Yeah, it was. And Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park. The first movie, I'm pretty sure that it probably is the first movie I ever saw in theaters. It's the first one I remember. Like, it really just instilled that love, a love of movies in general, but film, it just affected my life so much. And like as a kid, like I just fell in love with dinosaurs. I can't tell you how many like dinosaur and Jurassic Park specifically action figures I had growing up. The character of Dr. Alan Grant plays back into the point I made with yours. He just has a way of having these kind of like hardened on the outside men either learn to or already like be very deeply caring characters, and you just kind of have to like walk through a little bit of life with them to learn that about them. And I love that about his films. Goldblum freaking kills it. That's one of the best side movie characters of all time. Dr. Edley Sadler is smoking hot in her little thigh high jungle short she's got going on there. But I just love like movies that have lots of highs and lows usually keep me very interested and invested. And this movie is that. It is, okay, we're okay now. All right, we're not okay now. Okay, we're okay now. All right, we're definitely not okay now. And, you know, there's a scene where all this other stuff is going on, and then it just cuts to Laura Dern's character and...
Goldblum.
No, well, the doctor that started all just chilling, eating ice cream, talking about how they just hope that everyone else is okay and having, like, a semi-philosophical conversation about, like, chaos and life and things like that. So, I just love everything about this movie. I think it's phenomenal. It's my favorite Spielberg film.
Well... tell us your favorite Spielberg film down in the comment section below. Hopefully you held on to your butts for 13 or however long this video is. This is pre-edited, so right now 14 minutes. Like, share, and subscribe.